and you'll hear from me and Dimwi right around the corner. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the match, the start of our stream here tonight, Friday night, with a lot of matches coming up, 4 of them, in fact, as well as one in about 27 minutes over on VRML 2 Twitch. So that will be a Milk versus Wireless Jacks. But of course, right now we have Orbit versus Flare, and joining us here, well, joining me here, Palidore, is SirDimwi. And, well, what's going on? What do you have to tell us about this matchup?
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Excited to be back in the caster booth. Yeah, we have a solid matchup here to start this night off. Very exciting night of games indeed. But first, over on Orbit, let's see. We would usually see a roster of One Scoop, Blender, Sneaky Evil, and Zenith. Unfortunately, One Scoop and Sneaky Evil were unable to play in tonight's game. So they have been replaced with Ultra Droid off the team's sub-roster and Rox Titan, also known as Rotitan. You heard that here first. This is otherwise a team that saw themselves in preseason in 4th place, going 8-4 with a final MMR of around 1240, making it into the finals, but then going out 0-4. Now over to Flare, a team of Shepherd, Chrome Platypus, Game Dash, and Grumpiest Broom. Coming in off of preseason 6-5 with a rounded MMR of 1210, this is a team with one of the best bubble defenses, emboldened by Shepherd's hands in goal, and as well with one of the most capable goal scorers in the league in Chrome Platypus. These teams faced off in their last regular season match of the preseason, a game that went to Orbit 2-1, but also notable that the goals total was 32-31 in favor of Orbit, a differential of only 1. It might be poetic then for these teams to be facing off in their respective first games of season 1.
Well, on that note, poetry in motion about to start here as the players get into motion for this joust. So thank you again for joining us. Everyone in the Twitch chat said hi to you a little bit ago, but I'll say hi again because why not? See those numbers popping up already at 30, and that's amazing to see. But Chrome Platypus will see the disc, will find the alley, and down it will go to the other side. Game right off of that boost, cannot hit the shot. Now taken here. Mid actually sailing past mid. No one quite gets it yet until finally on the other end it's game after a multitude of brawls going off over at mid.
I've seen a lot of good brawling, a lot of mid stuffing here. See it again right there as both teams really stuffing up the middle, making it hard for either team to get through mid and control the disc in the offensive zone.
Rock's just trying to break that defense here as Chrome approaches him at mid. Blender's looking down low in that corner, relatively unguarded his Alter Droid, but then dived on immediately once that disc goes sailing in towards him, but then sails right out back towards the wedge and backing it out for another reset here. Zenith.
A lot of good opportunities here for Orbit. Maybe another one coming in on the bubble here. Blenders, but he gets stunned out as well. But yeah, a lot of great opportunities. But again, as I said, that bubble defensive flare is holding up as one would expect it to.
Now that sail's dangerously close, and actually Flare has lost a player, it would seem, right now, going 3 on
Shepard.
4, but now Rock's Titan gets the disc back, so no scores yet. Maybe Shepard can get himself back in this game before too much damage is done. That's at least the hope if you're Flare, but looking unlikely here because right now, Orbit getting there first. Actually, no. Grumpiest Broom somehow beating everyone to the punch, quite literally, and back out to Blenders at middle.
Yeah, Flare doing a really good job of holding up in this 4-on-3, and what a save there by Grumpiest Broom, taking the place of Shepard and able to get that all the way out. Yeah, they're holding up just fine without Shepard, but you know that'll only work for so long.
And Shepard is actually back now, so he'll be rejoining his team momentarily. So well done to Flare. They avoided any damage being done. No points on the board still. Thanks in large to Grumpiest Broom not only getting back on that stack, but as I say that, there is a stack from Zenith. And he'll find the 3.
And it looks like he did steal that disc from Shepard. So as Shepard listens to this broadcast back, this one's for him. They probably did a little bit better without him. Ha! 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 Ha!
Absolutely toxic. But here it goes for Orbit and Flare. Again, 3 points finally on the board for one of these teams. That is Orbit. And into Orbit that disc goes. And back to the bottom as well. Here's another stack, Zenith and Blenders. This time, Blenders first to it, and he'll score the 2.
And yeah, this is the speed of Orbit. Orbit is not a slow-moving team, even with a few subs. They're still going to be very, very quick. Blenders and Zenith have been playing together for a while now, and you know they're going to be able to get together very quickly and read each other very well.
For sure, and that one's squeezing past the defense. One of the players there just sailing past. Now a great pass and a authoritative slam from Grumpiest Broom as he waves his hands up in the air in victory.
Yeah, Grumpy, as he comes in, kind of the way he pulled that disc back before he took the shot, kind of almost puts a hesitation on it, which maybe draws the goalie out a little bit to open up that space to put it in. Great shot there by Grumpy.
He just cocked that one back and jammed it. Good move from Grumpy, and he is definitely someone who pulls off some moves like that around the goal. Anytime he's in the 2-point zone, he doesn't really shoot the same way twice or every time. You know, he knows how to vary up the way that he shoots it just to keep defenders on their toes. Kind of just like something he'd know too, because we saw him at goal earlier, goalkeeping for his team when Shepard was out. But Grumpy is back in Season 1 of VRL. That's kind of where he excelled, at least towards the latter half of that season, when he moved from striker to more of a backliner, goalkeeper, and he found a lot of success there. Of course, that is, whoa, that shot goes off. That's not to sell short his capabilities on offense because he is stellar. Looking for another move. You can see it right there. There are the moves, and that is exactly what I'm talking about. A multitude of hesitations, finally before the 2.
Yeah, he got that clean steal at the top of the bubble there and kind of brought it in. Wasn't moving all too fast. Maybe could have had a defender on him, but he stays open and clear and just takes his time, waits for the good look, and he took it and was successful. Great shot there by Grumpy again.
He threw what seemed like maybe 7 or 8 releases of that disc, just dribbling it around, so no one quite knew when he was going to shoot it. And now right here, it's a 5-4 game. Disc loose, a tap out, perhaps a bit unforced, but Chrome Platypus will have that intercepted by Zenith. Nice fadeaway 2-pointer from the bottom.
Yeah, what a read by Zenith to get in there to cut off that pass, get the grab, and then doesn't hesitate as that goalie. The goalie kind of it looked like he moved out of goal a little bit. I'm not sure what the reason was for, but in doing so, he opens it up and allows Zenith to get an empty netter there. And a beautiful shot there by Zenith. Beautiful play overall.
Pepper looking for that rollout, contested heavily here, and another interception this time to Blenders. This is somewhere he excelled. In that midline, anywhere where he can get those interceptions or those clears, taking it back for his team. That's why Orbit had a lot of success last season as 3 or 4 players from Flare just punch Zenith. Not really feeling the Zen on that one. The Rocks down to Zenith, and he'll find it there, though. Orbiting around himself for almost a 360 of sorts, and swings it in.
And Flair's bubble, uncharacteristically a little open there. They had 2 offenders move into the bubble. They only had 1 defender back with the goalie in goal. That is a 2-on-2, but still, you're kind of 1 man down in that situation, leaving the pass open for an easy shot on the goal there to take them up by 5.
And quick reminder as well, as game dodges the defender here, we do have Sealable Bag's Twitch companion there, his extension activated, so hopefully should still be working today. As game goes away and gets taken away by Rocks off of that nice grab. But again, if you hover your mouse over the screen on Twitch, you should see the stats live there. Now, ooh, down it goes. Grumpy is trying to contest. Zenith as well slaps it back out. The punches going off. So many of them over here in the 2-point zone, trying to find some space. Grumpy will find it thanks to the punch there. Chrome, I believe, got it, as well as Shepard was nearby, but that time running the interference successfully.
Yeah, Shepard with that great feed pass over to Grumpy from the ghost block over there. Grumpy on that far side post brings it in as I believe that was, Chrome Platypus knocking out the goalie for Grumpy to get his 3rd goal now of the game going up, bringing it within 3.
Taken here by Shepard, so his team, well, down 3, because that's how math works, as it goes up here. Back to Orbit's hands. Rocks Titan finding a anchored Zenith. Still trying to correct myself on those ones. Rocks, though, finding a correct shot. I almost thought he was just going for some odd steez, but I think he just lost his hands and then re-grabbed it. That was interesting.
And the play itself was interesting as well, as the pass was intended for Alter Droid, but Rocks just happens to get in that lane, makes the grab, and it was the defender made the read on the pass to Alter Droid, so went after Alter Droid instead of Rocks, giving Rocks the open space to walk in on the goalie and kind of do that little flutter move before he popped it in there. Good goal, good play.
Alter looking for another good play, and ouch, that is really damaging, snowballing this lead now to 14 to 6 points. As the clock continues to run, a minute and a half left. On that last play, I was going to say, too, I think what happened with Rocks there, he was trying to go for the Rocks blocks, but he forgot they don't exist anymore when you're on offense.
Fair point.
So, Orbit's ahead here. Blair just trying to close the gap with a minute remaining, but another turnover. And a punch nicely by Alter Droid. And again, so back-to-back 3s. And it's a 17 to 6 lead.
And that there may just be the ice, but notable Alter Droid after he got that stun and picked that disc back up, turned around on a dime very, very quickly, did not hesitate, knew he only had a moment of open goal there. So in that moment, he turned around and popped it in. Good play there.
Contested here in the tunnel as he gets rid of the disc. Over to the orbit zone. It's a good shield there from a game, but not able to handle the disc afterwards. And Alter Droid tapping that back out as well. This point just trying to play for maybe one more point is Flare, but the victory going to be in the hands in round 1 here of Orbit, and maybe just building it a little more. Alter Droid yet again, and that is 3 3s in a row for Altered, I do believe.
Yeah, he really great performance here by Altered in the last few minutes of this round. But what a round it was, particularly for Orbit.
Yeah, so interesting that, I mean, despite the fact that Orbit is running with 2 subs right now, they came ahead 20 to 6, and that is a powerful lead. to close the game with.
Yeah, and as I was going to say, maybe a little bit surprising, but maybe not considering the subs that they have brought in are not bad players by any stretch. I mean, Rox Titan and Ultra Droid, both notable players in their own right. And it shows here in this game against a sure-footed team such as Flair here. Flair only putting 6 points on the board, all from Grumpy. Uh, yeah, Chrome Platypus pulling up uncharacteristically a few eggs himself. But then you've got 9 points to Ultra Droid, 7 points to Zenith, 2 saves to Grumpiest Room as well. Grumpy pulling up the MVP over on Flair at the moment. Flair's just got to pull it back together, maybe getting a little off their game. I saw the defensive posturing of Orbit has been a little aggressive, but as well some of those clears kind of going right into the hands of some of the Orbit's players. So hopefully they're able to clean that up and come back out here, keep their head in the game and come back in this game too.
And that's kind of by design for Orbit. Granted, not a lot of those clears weren't even happening at mid necessarily. It was just based off the Orbit stacks, but related anyways is in the preseason, that's what they just fed off of, is so many of those clear interceptions due to leaving Blenders, aka Gamer Boy at the time, but they left him at mid a lot, and he was just the recipient of so many clears. In fact, in the preseason championships, the first round, the first matchup for them, they had a game-winning shot thanks to exactly that. It was Gamer Boy, aka Blenders now. And now Ultra Droid, there's a shot from them. But it was Blenders who actually got a very, very late game interception in the back line, brought it to the forward, to the front, and got a 3 to win the series there. And that was one of the memorable highlights for the preseason for me.
And interesting, I had a conversation with Blenders in the offseason. He told me about playing back as he does on Orbit. He said originally he wasn't really big on the idea. It wasn't the position he liked to play and was used to playing. But as he has proven time and time again, it's definitely a position he's well suited for as he plays it so strong.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I was conscious of giving him his compliments for that, because I've seen Blenders play before, and I know his style is outside of a competitive setting. Like before VRML was a thing in Echo Arena, that really wasn't his style. He's more of an offensive player. He likes playing forward. He likes going for jukes and for stees and things like that. So I was, complimenting him just for the fact that he was really willing to play his role and do it so well, as a nice save from Chrome Platypus goes through as well.
Zenith doing some bunny hops on the way in there. Funny to see, but now Chrome picking that one up and putting it in to tie it up for 2, a goal they desperately needed here to turn this tide in their favor.
So end to end, and Chrome gets that one done to tie it up. Nice play from him and from Flair. So Orbit now on the offensive joust. And taken here by Blenders. So deep it goes to the other side of the floor. It's Shepard playing the back line right now, but Rox is nearby. Chrome finds a disc coming his way, so he'll get it instead and send it deep for a shot maybe, or a clear. He did have a teammate down. That's Game. And mentioning Game, as Chrome passes it to him, going down for a shot. Oh, but self-goal. Tough.
And I mean, despite the save, a well-earned goal, the passes that resulted in that goal were really phenomenal and very, very tight. Every single one of those receivers under pressure as they got it. And unfortunate, Blenders does make the save, but I'm not sure entirely what happened after he made the save. But yeah, unfortunately puts it in on himself. And Flair is now up by 2.
Yeah, just lost his hands there, it seemed, but at least he did turn it into a 2, if nothing else. But still one of those plays that just upsets you a little bit if you're the recipient of that self-goal. But alas, Chrome Platypus takes that back, and now back to Grumpiest as Flair tries to build maybe a little bit of a buffer here on their advantage.
Maybe a little miscommunication on that pass there. He went to the man just as the man was pulling off to cut into the bubble, and that results in this clear down and maybe another goal here.
He had no problem stuffing that one in for the 3 Orbit players there. Pretty much uncontested to tie that one up at 4.
Yeah, so this game's still tight. Tied up. more than 6 minutes to go, so still anything can happen. Tide could turn in either team's favor at any moment.
Oof, almost a turnover. Rockstein trying to cause it. That was a very quick approach. Just barely missed the grab on Chrome. But still, it looks like Orbit will get the interception. Maybe a little bit of a one-shot attempt. Interesting seeing that from Orbit. But now a great pass to the backboard for an easy shot from Zenith.
Yeah, and I say it time and time again, there's when you've got a guy sitting up on the clock there. I mean, that is such a really any position behind the goal. But the closer to the goal you can get while sitting there without being covered, I mean, it's too dangerous. And we saw the result of it again there.
That's a tough clear there, pass intending to hit Chrome up there. Perhaps it's Grumpiest, but turnover instead. There was a lot of mustard on that pass and a couple defenders there, so that was going to be a tough catch for Grumpy no matter what. Luckily, they retain it, at least for a moment, but Ultra Droid subbing here for Orbit right now and doing a good job. He had those three threes in a row earlier. Shepard taking the disc back. Down low, this is some good defense on the bottom of the bubble, but that is a great pass, recognizing game up here at the top and finding it to drop the goal.
What a nice cut there by Game. It looked like the defender kind of got himself stuck in goal with the goalie, and as the attacker comes in, they both kind of freeze up and wait for the shot, and Game takes his time and looks for that open space, and he gets it and puts it in. Beautiful play, beautiful cut pass, beautiful shot by Flair.
Turnover here going to Flair's hands as they back it out and send it forward. Grumpy takes it away, finds an anchor, needs to find a player, does not though, gets stunned on the duck attempt. And mentioning Game real quick, he's the newest member of the roster here to Flair. Last season, pre-season, it was actually Game playing over on Inverted there. They're a team that had some success, but they ultimately decided to go their own separate ways. And Game, one of the veteran players dating all the way back to just about the beta days of Echo Arena, or at least close by in 2017. So his experience, definitely something welcome here on Flair, on what is a team no doubt full of veteran Echo players. And there is a shot through the layers of the defense at goal.
And what a dangerous pass that was. Had any of those defensemen been able to read that pass, they probably could have intercepted it there. But a pass from Rock's Titan Ultra Droid on the floor there behind the goal. Dangerous, but exciting because it goes in. Beautifully done there by Orbit to stay up by 2.
And now managing to squeeze through a good pass there. Right back, there's some passing plays here from Flair, cannot quite capitalize. That's something that I was super impressed with Flair, and actually maybe a shot attempt just a little off there because of the ricochet, but you see players taking that sidewall shot at times now. But that's something I'm impressed with Flair, at least in the preseason, is how far their passing game came along. It was just so nice to watch. And a great grab by Zenith, and he's going to watch that just ding off the post and maybe sail back to him, but no.
Great opportunity there by Zenith, and Orbit now maintaining control of this disc in the offensive zone here. Very dangerous position for Flair to be in, as they're only down by 2, but they need to make something happen here as the dump attempt goes out and a chain follows.
And now they shot a bit quick, but the defense was retreating, so that was pretty much their only 3-point opportunity available. They will receive the disc right back, so Grumpy takes it, but a punched-out Shepard, courtesy of Zenith, will take the disc away. Great defense there from Orbit to maintain this lead, and hopefully for them get the disc back. But no, because Grumpy is there first. And Game takes that, but gets jammed on right with those knuckles from Ultra Droid, trying to cause some trouble. But it's still Grumpy in the back, and he gets it again. We know how Grumpy, how good he is with just positioning himself in advantageous places. He's a very frequent receiver of those clears, or even causing some brawls that make turnovers happen in his favor. It goes down here towards the outer edge of the top. Game cannot corral it. Rocks certainly will try as he slaps it out to the wedge. Neither team really able to have control here the last minute or so of gameplay. A lot of back and forth action. I mean, there it goes again. Rocks some more great defense on that outer bubble. Clears it out the way. And up by 2 with potentially a win in the bag, especially if they hit that. They do not. So great efforts here, but now, oh, Shepard could not get the disc. He momentarily had it, but the disc still went through, and that is going to hurt them because they're down by 4 now.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
So with that said, we have ourselves 30 seconds left. In immediate need of a score here is Flare. But clock not on their side, so we could be looking at maybe that shot does not go through. So indeed, Orbit going to be in control here. Chrome does manage one last goal for Flare. But unfortunately, no time for another. So Orbit 2-0 here against Flare. And that is subs or not. Big statement play from Orbit.
Definitely is. Yeah, Orbit really showing some strength and really showing us what they might be able to do for the rest of the season once they get their full roster back here. Doing this with subs. Again, not these subs are obviously not bad players at all, but still with subs, able to take one over such a sure-footed team like Flare here. And just to look at go over the stats real quick, you had Ultra Joy with the game high points of 13. Zenith pulling up 9, Blenders for Rocks Titan 2. Rocks Titan getting 3 assists. That's a game high. But then over on, Flare, with everybody leaving, I believe that first person to leave, off the top of my head, I can't remember who that was, but he had 3 saves. Shepard with 2, and Platypus with 1. And game high points. I believe that was Grumpiest Broom.
Yeah.
That took off there, had the saves of 3.
And it's nice too because leaving or not, that's why we have the Twitch extension now, the sealable bags one. So even if we can't get to the stats all the time right away, anyone in Twitch is free to highlight that one and see the stats on their own accord. So that's a really nice tool that kind of helps the casters just as much as the players and the